What is going on? Welcome to Don't Chill Promos. How y'all doing? Hope out on a blessed Monday to start off this week. Before I get into this review for TNA's Bound for Glory, just want to do a quick shout out to all subscribers to the channel and to the followers on Rumble. As of now, I'm at 277. We're at 23 more. We drop the 1 through 5 favorite female wrestlers of all time. Until then, gotta keep on going. So much shit to talk about, man. Like, I just gotta pick and choose, you know what I mean? Like, this week, I'm gonna try to do that video on Omos. Alright, I need to do that next, or this week. So, I'm gonna try to knock that out. But, without further ado, let's get into this review, because it seems you guys like my TNA content the most. Which I can appreciate, because I enjoy doing TNA content. Alright, I've always liked TNA. So let's get started. I'm trying to make this shit as painless as possible, but this was, in my opinion, probably the best TNA pay-per-view this year. Alright, and easily one of the best pay-per-views I've seen all year, honestly. Alright, and I normally don't do pre-shows, but this is a special occasion because they did the TNA Hall of Fame on this show, right? Start off, we get the tag team match of Ash and Heather by Elegance versus Brinley Reese and Zaya Brookside. Alright, and I'm just gonna fast forward to the finish. This was a good match. There were no bad matches on this card, but by default, this was the weakest match. That's only because the matches that proceeds after were that much better. So to fast forward, we see Zaya there, the crowd was chanting for her to kick the concierge's ass. That's what she did, but while she was doing that, we see Heather hits the Arabian fly, not the Spanish fly, the Arabian fly. It's on Brinley. Ash hits the rarefied air for the 1, 2, 3. Now, at first, I'm like, why the fuck is Zaya still jobbing now? But I think there's a good reason, especially what happens later on tonight. I think I see where they're going. I think I see it. Right, but I'll get to that later on. But your winners is Ash and Heather by Elegance. Alright, so let's move on. Next, we get the first inductee to the TNA Hall of Fame, and that is Mr. Bob Ryder, an unsung hero of TNA. And more Hall of Fames need to do shit like this, to where they give homage to people behind the scenes that do a lot for the company and don't get the recognition that they deserve. So this is awesome. I love to see it. Right? Bob was there from 02. He was there from the genesis for this company, doing multiple roles until his unfortunate passing in 2020 from cancer. Again, fuck cancer. But we see the world-class maniac EY coming out to induct him to the Hall of Fame. Right, I'm not going to get into his whole speech, but if you see when you're watching EY talk, he was trying not to be emotional. He was trying not to cry. That shows you how much Bob Ryder meant to EY. Because he was legit. He said that he was legit a friend. He was family to EY. Eric was saying how he didn't really have anyone, so he brought him into his family. This was a nice heartfelt speech from Eric, and I'm sure Bob Ryder would be proud. Alright, again, I want to see more introductions like this. Again, rest in peace to Bob Ryder. But next induction goes to the man beast, Gore Rhino, Detroit's own. And then we see old Tommy Dreamer, who I'm not a fan of by any means, but he had a good speech. It was a nice intro to bring out the ECW legend himself, Rhino. He comes out, has a huge pop from the crowd. Obviously, that's his hometown. That's where he's from. You know, and that's the first thing he mentions is like this isn't my award. This is our award, because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. And especially here in Detroit, the greatest city in the world, puts over Detroit. And our crowd loses their shit. Alright, I'm not going to go through his whole speech as well. It's on YouTube, you check it out. Alright, pre-show's free. But he puts over most of the guys that helped him along his career. And the one I want to mention that stood out to me the most was Heath Slater. Which I was thinking, I'm like, where the hell is Slater at? It's been a minute since I've seen him. But he was like he put him over heavy. He was like, I don't like talking about this because I hate dealing with emotions, because he was trying not to break down, which, you know, I can't blame him on this, but he was like, my brother, when he was diagnosed with terminal cancer, it was Heath. He was the one that would talk to him, and you can see the cancer go away, and you hear the life being brought back into his voice. And for that, I'm forever, ever grateful to Heath Slater. And I'm like, damn, that's heavy. He was like, he also puts over God. He is a man of God. And yeah, it was a great speech. So go check it out. And definitely would check out TNA's Hall of Fame this year. Well done, in my opinion. But we move on to the Call Your Shot Gauntlet match. I'm not going to break down the match, you know, all the spots in there. I'm just going to break down all the participants and all that and go from there. All right. Start off, we have King Kaz, Killer Kaz, Frankie Kazarian as number 1. Number 2 was Zachary Wentz from the Rascals. Number 3 was What's My Name? Something. Jake Something. Number 4 was Trey Miguel from the Rascals. Number 5 was your boy Hammer, Alexander Hammerstone, who I would have been perfectly fine with if he were to win his Call Your Shot Gauntlet. So all this man needs is some consistent booking. All he fucking needs. Number 6 was Rohit Raju, who I haven't seen this dude in a hot minute. I mean, this is a former X-Division champion right here, and good to see him. Still looks good. All right. Number 7 was Laredo Kid. Number 8 was Sami Callihan. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Number 9, who was John Skyler, one half of Good Hands. And I do believe commentary mentioned that it was his birthday on Saturday. So happy belated birthday to Mr. Skyler. Number 10 is Bhupender Gujjar. And I know I've seen this dude before, but it's been a minute. All right, now I was thinking, I'm like, TNA can have a badass Indian stable, man. Like, they need to put him, or this dude, Bhupender, you get Rohit, he's like the mouthpiece, the manager. You get Mahabali Shera, because I know he ain't doing shit. And then you sign General Hall, the Maharaja, and my nigga Veer Bahan. You run that shit, man. I'm telling you, that's money in that group right there. And I don't know what Sanga's doing, but get that group right there, and you could do something with that group. I'm just saying. Number 11 is Trent Seven. I'm coming out with the Detroit Pistons little towelette or whatever. Number 12 is the big homie Casey Navarro. And I've been watching this dude. I'm like, he reminds me of like a modern Juventud Guerrero. You know, I just see Hoovy in this dude, man. Like, this dude gets it. All right, because he comes out, he's like, hold up, wait a minute, dubs up, dubs down. And then like, Sami Callihan just like power bombs the shit out of him. You can just see him. His facial expressions, that dude kills me. This dude gets it. This dude absolutely 100% gets it. Number 13 is the Man Beast Rhino, who gets a huge pop, and he pretty much cleans out most of the jobbers from out the ring. But number 14 is Tasha Steelz. Alright, she comes out, hits RKO on KC, and tries RKO Rhino. Rhino says, what are you doing? What? Come on, man. Tasha then proceeds to twerk right in front of him. We see Rhino, he looks perplexed, as in he doesn't know what to do. He's like, he doesn't know how to counter this innovative offense from Tasha Steelz. But number 15 is Layling Lee, right? One of my favorites here, TNA, formerly known as Zaya Lee. She comes out, packs up Tasha Steelz up at her. All right, number 16 is Jason Hotch, the other half of Good Hands. Number 17 is my nigga Leon Slater, and everybody gets their shine here at some point, you know, in this match. But here's a spot I want to mention here. All right, we see Layling Lee going after King Kaz here. She ain't afraid of him. Started beating his ass. All right, hits the thunderstruck kick. All right, she runs the ropes, and then this asshole, this son of a bitch, clotheslines the shit out of Layling Lee and pretty much eliminates her. I'm like, you bastard, you bastard, damn you. Right, the crowd boos the shit out of him. Like, this dude's such a great fucking heel, man. He really is. Right, number 18 is John Gresham, and he comes out, he attacks fucking King Kaz here. Number 19 is Man, do I hate pro wrestling. Mr. Dirty Dango, JDC. And last but not least is AJ, not Styles, AJ Francis. And I'm going to fast forward to the finish, which the last two was King Kaz, Rhino, King Kaz low blows Rhino, cheats to win, and the winner of the Call Your Shot Gauntlet match is King Kaz, as predicted. Which I'm all for. Like, I would love to see Frankie Kazarian as the TNA World Champion. Why the hell not? Because this man's doing some of his best mic work in his entire career. Easily. Been extremely entertaining since he's been back here at TNA. So, I'm all for it. But that is it for the pre-show, and now we move on to the main card. And the first match of the night is for the X Division title, with the challenger El Vikingo versus Speedball Mike Bailey. I got some things to say about this match, but I'll get to that later on. But fast forward, we see Vikingo hits kind of like a corkscrew head scissors to Mike Bailey. We then see him hit the tope suicida to Bailey on the outside. Fast forward, this is when Vikingo starts selling the bad leg of his that was surgically repaired. He then locks in the Indian Deathlock to target that bad leg. I'm like, I like that. That's a good touch. Fast forward, Vikingo hits like a rebound to a thrust kick. He's still selling the bad leg of his. Alright, we fast forward again. Like, I don't know what the fuck kind of pose this was from Vikingo, but this is crazy. But he baits him and then hits a springboard shotgun drop kick to Speed. Alright, we then fast forward, and I hated this spot right here. They go on the outside, see Vikingo hits kind of like a Hurricane Rana off the barricade there. And I hate it because you can see Speedball just standing there and be like, you good, bro? Okay, I'll just stand here looking like a dumbass. I can just trip you. I hate spots like that, man. I really do. Alright, but fast forward, we see Bailey hit like this springboard corkscrew press to Vikingo on the outside. Fast forward, Bailey hits the green tea plunge. I think he calls that shit here for 2 count. Alright, fast forward, Vikingo tries to lock in like this triangle armbar, but Bailey gets the ropes. He then hits a Fishman Buster to Vikingo, and then hits a shooting star press for 2 count. Fast forward, we see Vikingo, he hits the Trouble in Paradise kick to Speedball here. Fast forward, we see Speedball, he's on his Miyagi-Do shit. Then sees the Karate Kid and he hits the crane kick on Vikingo. He then sets up and hits the ultimate weapon on Vikingo, but he kicks out at 2. Speedball tries to hit the Flamingo driver, but this was crazy. I'm not gonna lie, this was a crazy ass spot. But Vikingo hits, he counters it into a Canadian Destroyer. And tries to do a 630 senton to finish the match. Speedball rolls out the ring. Vikingo says, oh yeah? There's a corkscrew press to the outside onto Speedball there. And I'm noticing this, and like for like the past like 5 minutes, I'm like, oh, so now he's like not selling the leg. Like somehow miraculously his leg's all good now. Okay, I got you. All right, now this right here should have been the finish of the match. All right, it should have been. All right, but this man Vikingo hits a Canadian Destroyer on the ring apron to Speedball Mike Bailey. That should have been it. He should have picked his ass up, like fucking throw his ass in the ring, like fucking pin him 1, 2, 3. It's over. And the new. No, but nah, we ain't get that. Nah. I'm like, it makes me want to shield this match because of that, but I'm not going to. But the actual finish of this match was Vikingo, who tries to go for the 630 senton again. Mind you, after hitting the Canadian Destroyer on the ring apron to Speedball. Speedball somehow gets up. It gets back up. They fight on the top of the turnbuckle. He gets the Meteor Rain for the 1, 2, 3. And still, the X Division champion, Speedball Mike Bailey. Like I said, we should have had a new X Division champion and El Vikingo. But it is what it is, man. So this was a decent opener to start the show. Again, like some of the spots, some of the goofy spots and no selling takes me out of it. Like I can't fully enjoy the match. But it was decent for what it was. Moving on to the second match, and that's for the Knockouts Tag Team titles, which is Wendy Cho and Rosemary versus Spitfire. And this was also a decent tag team match, but I'm just going to fast forward to the finish, which was Spitfire hitting their tag team finisher. I think what they call it, is it the price drop or pressure drop? Something like that for the 1, 2, 3. Alright, and still the Knockouts Tag Team Champions, Spitfire, which I honestly thought that fucking Wendy and Rosemary were gonna win here. I honestly thought that, but nah, that didn't happen. But what does happen is after the match, we see Rosemary hits the gore onto Wendy Cho, knocks her ass down, kisses her goodnight because she ain't getting up, and that's it for this alliance between Rosemary and Wendy Cho. Rosemary is tired of being a jobber. She's blaming it on Wendy Cho for being a weak link. And it's a shame because they didn't even come up with kind of like a tag team name for these two. It is what it is, but I'm interested to see where the story goes from here. But that's all that happened here, so we move on. Next, we see the king of TNA, Mr. King Kaz. He's back there reading the Earl Hebner book. We see Gia interrupt him. Kaz is like, what the hell do you want? He's like, you don't see me studying? I'm reading up for tonight's match. What do you want? Gia was like, well, I just came here to congratulate you and win the Call Shot Gauntlet tonight. And are you prepared to call this match between Nick Nemeth and Joe Hendry for the TNA World title tonight? And Kaz is like, okay, since you're putting me over, I'll give you a few minutes. Alright, and it's like, look, of course I'm prepared. You see what I did out there? Like, I was number 1. And I outlasted 19 of the best professional wrestlers here in the entire world. And tonight will be no different. Alright, and don't worry, don't you fret. Alright, at the end of the day, right man will win TNA World title. Now scram, get out of here, skedaddle. I'm trying to read here. And that's all that happened here, so we move on. Next, we get the match between Steve Macklin versus Perk Alexander. Macklin says fuck your entrance because he charges directly at him. So they fight around the ring. Fast forward, we see Macklin hits the suicide dive to Alexander on the outside. And he hits like a face buster to Alexander on the ring apron. Alexander then throws Macklin into a turn post. He then locks in a figure 4 leg lock. Woo! Using the turn post to Macklin. Fast forward, Macklin does a misdirectional Irish whip into the clothesline, and then hits the one-arm backbreaker to Alexander. Fast forward, we see Alexander does a powerbomb backbreaker to Macklin. He then tries to go for like a C4 spike possibly, but he stops because it sounded like the crowd at first was chanting Eric Young, thinking that he was going to come out to help Macklin. But they end up chanting Walking Wiener. You could thank Joe Hendry for that chant. Alright, but he does 5 German suplexes to Macklin. Macklin then counters and hits 10 German suplexes on this man. Insane. Alexander then hits the world's strongest slam to Macklin onto the ring apron. Fast forward, he tries to go for a C4 spike again. He stops because the crowd chants Walking Wiener, which gives enough time for Macklin to hit the ankle slam, follow up by the superplex into the DVD, the Death Valley driver. And Josh still kicks out at 2. Alright, so we fast forward, get the referee bump. Alexander will close Macklin. He zip ties his hand again. The referee was like, well, what the fuck's going on here? Why is his hand zip tied? Alexander was like, I don't know. You telling me, man? I don't know. And he was taunting to the crowd. Macklin says, fuck that. Don't take the cuffs off. I'm good. Tags him. Does a tag him. Bag him. Does a spear from tree roll position to Alexander. He then does a no-arm suicide dive to Alexander on the outside. Alexander says playtime's over, hits the tombstone pile driver, picks his ass up, hits a German. Macklin no-sells it, he has an adrenaline pumping, headbutts the shit out of him, but Alexander locks in the ankle lock, and that adrenaline ends real quick because he puts his ass to sleep. And your winner is Perk Alexander. didn't even need the Northern Armory to get the dub here. It was a valiant effort from Macklin, but it wasn't enough to take down the Walking Whip. Like, this was a great match, and pretty much all these matches from here on out deliver, right? So that leads us to the next match. That's for the Digital Media and the International Heavyweight Championship. You got Always Ready, the major player, the indie god, Matt Cardona versus the Canadian Frankenstein himself, PCO. You got Cardona, he's on his I ain't afraid of no ghost with the Ghostbusters drip. Alright, I see you. Fast forward, we see PCO, he charges at Cardona, he dodges, takes a flat back bump to the outside. And this is the way this man just ragdolls his body. It's insane at his age. Again, I believe he's like 56, going on like 57. Absolutely insane this man is. I don't know how he does it. We fast forward, Cardona does the baseball slide to PCO. You fast forward again, see Cardona, he's talking shit. He's like, hey Steph, I hope you're watching this. I'm gonna hurt your husband and I'm gonna take his fucking titles. Fast forward, we see PCO, he's using the trash can onto Cardona. Fast forward again, I think PCO is trying to powerbomb Cardona, but Cardona flips it over, and we see a PCO takes a back body drop onto the steel steps. I'm just like, oh my, this man's back, man. Oh my god. Jesus, you know, god damn. We fast forward, see Cardona, he gets out the door, crowd chants door, sets it up, only for him to go right through it, because we see PCO does a back body drop to Cardona onto the door itself. We fast forward again, we see PCO tries to go for a suicide dive, but he runs right into the trash can from Cardona, and it's just, man, the bumps this man takes, it's, like I said, it's fucking insane. Alright, fast forward to see Cardona, he's inflicting more punishment using the trash can. He then takes out some more weapons, grabs a chair. He's like, it should be my fucking face on this goddamn chair. Right? Sets up the door on top of the chairs. The crowd chants, you sick fuck. You sick fuck. You sick fuck. And Cardona smiles, is like, yeah, you're fucking right, I am. I'm like, you're damn right. Fast forward, he then power bombs PCO through that door on top of the chairs, and it's just like, this is a thud mix. This is a car crash. You know what I mean? Like, this man just obliterates that fucking door, man. It's like, God. Fast forward, we see Cardona, he has a bag, and we all know what's in that bag: thumbtacks. Alright, so this sick bastard takes the tacks and just shoves it in fucking PCO's mouth. Then he does a woo woo woo. You know it. Face wash, PCO in the corner. And it's like, my goodness. How much punishment is this man gonna go through? Then fast forward, we see Cardona, he's just individually sticking tacks into this man's face. Right? We see PCO, he hulks up. Alright, Matt Cardona then hits the radio silence to PCO for 2 count. Alright, fast forward, we see Matt grabs another door where PCO just charges right into him, does like a shorter block, you know, like a Matt bumps off it. He then grabs the door, just smashes the door on top of this man. We see PCO, he has another bag of tacks that he pours out. Fast forward, we see Cardona, he thinks he's Negan, all of a sudden grabs Lucille, tries to inflict even more punishment onto PCO, but PCO fights back, hits a chokeslam to Cardona on top of the dump tacks. This man's in complete agony. Alright, I know that shit hurt, but PCO finishes him off with the PCO assault for the 1, 2, 3. And still, the Digital Media International Heavyweight Champion, PCO. So again, bravo, kudos to both these men, salute. My goodness. Like, both these guys are fucking insane, especially PCO at his age, taking those fucking crazy fucking bumps at his age. I don't know how he does it. I know. So, hats off to him, man. I honestly thought Matt Cardona was going to go over here, but he loses. And PCO did it. He did it for Steph the Lander. So this story should be finished. Now we move on to the next match. A match that I was highly looking forward to because I've been enjoying this feud between my nigga Mike Santana and my nigga Moose. I like both these guys, but one of them has to go over. Right? And while Moose was doing his entrance, Moose, the crowd was behind it, you know, they're doing the Moose, you know, that shit. We see, hey yo, boo 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 boo. West Side Gun, if you don't know. Alright, this man, look at this bling this man has, man. Ah, damn. It's always good to see West Side Gun because he's legit like a true wrestling fan. Like he always be at these shows between TNA and AEW. Well, at least he's shouting them out because WWE, they do not acknowledge this man. They don't know who the fuck he is. It's sad. It is because he's always there. You know, for these like those big pay-per-views. So shout out to Griselda. But next we get the entrance from my nigga Mike Santana. Come through the crowd, get the crowd hyped up, and then we get the match. When we fast forward, we see Santana, he tosses Moose into the barricade on the outside, and then hits a big boot onto Moose as well. We fast forward, we see Santana hits a suicide dive onto JDC, Moose takes advantage, hits a pump kick onto Santana, followed by a powerbomb onto the apron. We see JDC, he takes advantage, throws Santana's ass into steel steps and throws his ass back into the ring. Moose then does a hard Irish whip to Santana into the turnbuckle. Fast forward, we see Santana who's trying to go for the cannonball to Moose in the corner, but Moose catches his ass and it's pretty much almost like a jackknife powerbomb to Santana for 2 count. Right? He picks his ass up, hits a Uranagi. Fast forward, we see Santana hits that rolling buck 50 to Moose, which is that reverse roll into the cutter. Right? Fast forward, we see Santana, he does a diving crossbody to Moose and JDC on the outside. Right? He then tries to go for the cannonball to Moose again in the corner. Moose catches his ass, but Santana counters it into her Hurricanrana. Moose looks shocked. He's like, what the fuck? He's like, what the fuck? Fast forward, we see Santana hits the onside moonsault to Moose on the outside. Fast forward, we see Santana, he hits the OIC, followed up by a single leg drop kick for a 2 count. Fast forward, he hits the Death Valley driver into the corner, followed up by a 450 splash. So we fast forward, we see Moose. I think he was trying to go for like an avalanche sky high, but he doesn't get all of it. Fast forward, we see Moose hit another powerbomb to Santana on the ring apron. Fast forward, JDC gets involved, wraps a steel chain around his fist, who's going to punch Santana. The referee was like, hey, look, you do that, the match is done, it's a DQ. JD was like, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Goes to punch Santana. Santana dodges, almost punches Moose. Moose is like, whoa, wait, hey, whoa, chill. Joe Gulo. Santana then hits spin the block onto JDC. There's enough time for Moose to hit the spear onto Santana for 2 count. The finish of the match is Santana hitting the spin the block to Moose for the 1, 2, 3. So Santana goes over clean as a whistle, and he finally beats the system. So you got a guy here in Mike Santana who will be at some point TNA World Champion. It's gotta happen, alright? He's got all the tools, he's in the best shape of his career, he can talk, he can wrestle. He's like, what fucking more do you need? Alright? So at some point, I do expect him to put the belt on this man. This was a great match. But now we move on to the so-called triple main event, which is dumb because there's only one true main event, right? But the first of the trios is for the Knockouts World Championship. We got Mother Russia, Marshall Slamovic versus the Juggernaut Jordan Grace. And I'll tell you right now, this would have been the match of the night if it wasn't for the next match right after. Because this was excellent. Fantastic. I'm gonna break down this match right now. Right? We see chain wrestling. I'm like, that's how you fucking do it. I'm like, so I'm already into this shit. I mean, like, I'm loving it already. Alright. Fast forward, we see Masha, she just pretty much, I don't know what you call this, like a tope cannonball-esque kind of move to Grace on the outside. Fast forward, we see Masha tries to get back into the ring, and then we see Jordan Grace trips her up. Alright, and then this is where we see Jordan Grace wrestle as a heel. She was super aggressive than she normally is. Right, you can tell that she was wrestling as a heel if you pay attention. Right, so she was focusing on that leg, does a double foot stomp onto Masha, picks her up fireman's carry style, like smashes her leg into the turn post, then hits a rolling fireman's carry. She was like, "What? What of it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, she's losing." I mean, like, yeah, because like this isn't shit Jordan usually does. So I'm like, that gave it away right there. But wasn't sure, but I was like, I had a feeling, you know what I mean? And real quick, I got to give props to Masha because notice how she's selling the leg the entire fucking time. Unlike certain somebody from earlier, El fucking go. This is how you fucking sell leg injury right here. This is how it's done. Just take notes, right? But she gets back, does a kick combination, then hits a DD guillotine to Jordan Grace here. Well, Jordan powers her ass up, hits the jackhammer for a 2 count. Alright, fast forward, she hits the World's Strongest Slam, tries to do the Vader Bomb, but misses. Fast forward, she's Masha, she hits the Frankensteiner or Hurricane Rana, whatever you want to call it, top rope. She then hits a nasty, and I do mean a nasty snowplow for 2 count. Fast forward, we see Masha, she does a springboard crossbody, followed up by a rolling wheel kick. Fast forward, this was sick. This might be arguably my favorite spot in the match. We got Jordan, like just had her like in a tombstone position, but changes it into a wheelbarrow suplex. Like I never seen that shit before, but that was sick. Then does a kryptonite crunch for the 2 count. Shout out to Jerry Lynn. Like this sequence was awesome. I mean, like this is like where the match starts to pick up even more. I'm like, god damn. We fast forward, and this spot was sick too. It was like they're fighting like by the ring apron area, and Masha kind of like trips her and like pulls her body into the ring. It was just a way that Grace sold it that looked crazy. I never seen that before, so I'm like, this match was insane. All right, we fast forward, see Masha hits the burning hammer. This should have been the finish right here. Like, you don't kick out of the fucking burning hammer, man. Like, shout out to Kenta Kobayashi, but Jordan kicks out at like 2.99999. We fast forward again. Masha tries to go for that kick combination that she did earlier, where Jordan catches her leg. She does like kind of like a capture fisherman suplex into the Juggernaut driver, and Masha kicks out at like 2.999. And I was like, like, oh boy, like that was a good kick out because I thought that was it right there. I'm like, ain't no way she's kicking out of it, but she does. I'm like, like that was close. And it's not often I get into a match like this, but these two ladies had me 100%. And then we fast forward, Jordan then locks in the ankle lock into the stretch muffler, but Masha manages to get to the ropes. Then we fast forward to the finish of the match, which is Masha hitting like the avalanche brainbuster into the pile driver for 1, 2, 3. And no! Knockouts World Champion, Mother Russia, Masha Slamovic. Well deserved. I'm like, finally, through the grace of God, fucking Jordan Grace's run is over. And that means her ass is going to the WWE. 100%. See right the fuck now. Just if she's going to NXT or she's going to the main roster. Honestly, I'll put her on the main roster. Like, she already did her NXT shit. Let's put her on the fucking main roster. Fuck it. You know what I mean? And she is that good. You know what I mean? Like her, even though her reign was stale towards the end of it, like Jordan Grace can still go. She is still one of the best professional wrestlers in the world. This match right here proved that. The right person went over, Masha Slamovic. She finally puts her over, and I don't know if this was better than the match that they had 2 years ago. I gotta rewatch that match, but these two have impeccable chemistry together. Like, you can tell, like, they're like legit friends, you know what I mean? Like, excellent. This match was excellent. Again, this would have been a match tonight if it wasn't for the next match. But again, big ups to both these women. That's how it's done. Right here. This is it. That's how you sell leg injury. That's how you do chain wrestling. That's how you do high impact moves. It was just flawless. That's an example of a 5-star match. But now it's time for us to move on to the co-main event. And that's for TNA World Championship. I'm wondering, I'm like, why the fuck is this going on like second to last? Why is this not the main event? I'm like, they must have something crazy in store for that Full Metal Mayhem match. But first we see a special guest referee for tonight's match. It's King Kaz. He's coming out, he's got the Carter Shot trophy in his hand, he's feeling himself, and he's ready to call this match right down the middle. Like, I'm laughing because this man cracked me up. This Kaz was extremely entertaining in this match, and I'll tell you why over here in a bit. Alright, but he comes out first, and then we see I believe in Joe Hendry. He's in a grill position. He still gives some pep talk. He's like, now's your time. Like, you busted your ass to get to this moment right here. And these people here in Detroit, just like myself, believe in Joe Hendry. Then we get a special video package, 8 Mile style, for Joe Hendry. He then comes out. We get a special Detroit Chainsaw Massacre, Joe Hendry style entrance. And if you zoom in and you look at the chainsaw, you'll notice that shit ain't on. Hendry had to pretend like the shit was on with the sound effects going on in the back. I'm sorry. I was laughing my ass off when I seen that shit. I'm like, what were they thinking, man? Like, what's the point in this shit? Like, I know he's done special entrances before, like the American Psycho Christian Bale entrance. And pay attention to this fan right here holding this sign. Let's see if Detroit is really about that life. We see Joe doing his entrance, and the crowd fully believed in Joe Hendry. Then we see the current TNA World Champion, the wanted man, Nick Nemeth, coming out. Gets a good reaction himself, not nearly as good as Joe Hendry's. Then we have the beautiful Jade, ring announcer, who is Josh Alexander's wife. She's announcing Joe Hendry, she's announcing Nick Nemeth, and then we see King Kaz holding up the TNA title. And he's smiling with this devious look on his face, like this man's up to no good. And while he's doing this, we hear, "Fuck Ohio, fuck Ohio." Sorry, this match from beginning to end was extremely entertaining. Like, I was laughing my ass. We get the match, we fast forward, they're doing chain wrestling in the beginning as well. We see Hendry gets upper hand, my crowd's behind him. Fast forward, Nick hits a picture perfect drop kick to Hendry, and he's on his show off shit tonight, acting like a heel. Fast forward, Hendry hits that song suplex where he walks around the ring. Fast forward, Nick hits the net breaker and follow up by the 10 consecutive elbow drops. Fast forward, Hendry counters into hitting like another suplex to Nick. Fast forward, Hendry hits the fallaway slam, and there was at some point in the match where he hits a pop-up powerbomb. I don't remember exactly where it was. We fast forward, Nick tries to lock in the sleeper hold, Hendry gets out of it. Hendry then locks in the ankle lock to Nick, but Nick manages to get to the ropes, and I'm laughing because Kaz is like, "Get the fuck off him, get off him now, get off." I'm like, if only more referees were as assertive as Kaz here. But fast forward, we see Hendry hits the avalanche fallaway suplex to Nick. Both these guys are down. You see Kaz, he's looking at the Carter Shot trophy, and he was like, "It's time." Alright, so he goes out, he tries to cash in this shot right now. Hendry stops him. He's like, "No, you're not. Like, you're gonna put that shit down, you're gonna call that match right down the middle." And Kaz is like, "What the hell are you doing? Like, you can't touch me. Don't tell me what to do. Matter of fact, I should disqualify you right now, you moron." This Kaz shit talking is hilarious to me. I don't know why. We fast forward, we see Nick hits the Fame Master to Hendry. Nick goes for the pin. We see Kaz does a super fast count to where Joe barely kicks out at 2. Nick was arguing with Kaz. Kaz was like, "Hey, he kicked out at 2, man. What the fuck you want from me?" I mean, like, calling the match right down the middle, right? So we fast forward. See Nick, he counters, hits a DDT to Hendry. We then see Hendry, he's on his John Cena shit. It's the FU for all the Hammer Niggers. And for the top tickers, it's the attitude adjustment. Fast forward after Hendry hits a pump kick to Nick to where these guys are fighting on the ring apron. Nick hits a super kick, but ends up running into the RKO from Hendry onto the ring apron. King Cass sees this as an opportune time for him to cash in and call his shot. He tries to call for a referee to run his happy ass down to the ring, and then we see out of nowhere, this man, John Bradshaw Layfield, he walks from the crowd into the ring, confronts Cass, clotheslines the hell out of him. Alright, he's feeling good after his Joe Rogan stem cells, come to find out, so he's feeling good. So Cass is knocked out, but he goes outside the ring, he talks to Hendry. Hendry was like, whoa, where are you going? And then JBL hits a clothesline of hell to Hendry, and the crowd booed. This crowd went from cheering him to like a minute later, booing him. Then see Nick's brother Ryan, who's been MIA. He's like, what the fuck are you doing, JBL? JBL just walks up, just drops this dude with one punch, puts his ass to sleep. So this man Ryan, who's been gone for weeks, shows up for 5 seconds on camera to get his ass knocked out. I'm sorry, but that might be the funniest spot in the match. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll try not to laugh, but that's hilarious. I was dying when I first seen this shit. But we fast forward, we see Nick. He hits the danger zone, yeah, for the 1, 2, and this man Hendry kicks out at 2.999. We see the referee, he rushes his happy ass down to the ring. You know, Hendry kicks out. The crowd just erupts. You know, they're like, yes! We're like, fuck yes, it's not over yet. The finishing sequence to this match was Hendry trying to go for the standing ovation. Nick counters it to the super kick. Then he hits another danger zone, yeah, for the 1, 2, 3. And still the TNA World Champion, Nick Nemeth. But after the match, we see Nick arguing with Cass, telling him to go fuck himself. We then see Nick checking up on Ryan, who got his ass dropped by 1 punch. And of course, Nick was down while all this shit transpired of JBL coming out of nowhere, hits a clothesline to hell to Cass, hits a clothesline to hell to Hendry, knocks his own brother out, just walks away. And I'm watching, and I'm like, I don't see any rioting going on here. So yeah, so much for that shit, alright? And look, I know people are legit pissed off that Joe Hendry got fucked over yet again. But I already knew off rip that this dude was not winning, alright? Like the moment that Cass was announced as the special guest referee, I already knew he ain't winning, alright? And then the fact that they went on second to last, that's another indicator that Joe ain't winning. I can tell you that right the fuck now. But it did not take away from this match. Not at all. Like, this was my match of the night because I was very entertained by this match. But if you're like, fuck this pay-per-view, fuck Tommy Dreamer, fuck TNA, and because Hendry didn't win, hey, I completely 100% understand. Alright, but it's just like I said earlier, I already knew he wasn't going to win. And if I had to guess, if I had to use my Gear 5 Conqueror's hotkey to see the future, most likely is going to be Hendry winning at Genesis in January. And they'll probably be on some fuck shit to where King Cassius immediately cashes in on Hendry, fucking him over, and the new champion is King Cass. That's what I see happening. Alright, so, but don't worry, it's only a matter of time before Joe Hendry wins that belt, because best believe he is winning that belt. Alright, it's only a matter of time. People wanting it right now and during the biggest show of the year, but hey, was meant to be. As you can clearly see tonight, Joe Hendry is far too over for him not to win the World Championship. He's one of the biggest baby faces in pro wrestling today. Hell, Joe might even win at the next pay-per-view, whenever that is. But I 110% believe that Joe Hendry will be the next TNA World Champion. And with that said, we gotta move on to the main event.
Well, it looks like the fight's already started. It's time for the main event.
With just a full metal mayhem match for TNA tag team titles. And you can see from the ring, even from the ladders and all the equipment out here, I see why this match went on last. But it also gave away the finish of the match, because I'm like, ain't no way they went to this deliberate amount of effort to customize this ring for the Hardys not to win here tonight. Ain't no fucking way. But I'm gonna break down this match and all the crazy ass shit that happened in it. Alright, first we see Chris Bay gets a tope con hilo on the system to the outside. Fast forward, these guys are fighting all throughout the arena there. Ace Austin hits a frog splash off the barricade to Brian Myers through a table. Fast forward, Matt Hardy hits a nasty leg drop to Eddie Edwards through a table. Like, I know that's sure, because Matt Hardy, he got them bad hips. Like, his hips were forever fucked up after he hit that diving leg drop to Edge in their steel cage match in 2005. We fast forward, we see the Hardys hit the plot twist, which is the twist of fate stunner into the neck breaker from Matt Hardy to Chris Bay. Fast forward, we see Chris Bay hits the double stomp to Matt Hardy on top of the ladder. Fast forward, ABC hits a double suplex to Jeff Hardy on top of the ladder. Fast forward, we see ABC, we see Chris Bay trying to keep the ladder that Ace Austin was trying to climb steady, this was a crazy spot because this could have ended very bad, but I believe it was Jeff Hardy that pushes Chris Bay out the way, and Ace Austin ends up falling down. But thank God he didn't get injured, because that could have been very, very bad, disastrous. We fast forward, we see the Hardys, they set up the ladder in the middle of the ring, then they set up this big ass ladder on both sides of the ropes, in the middle of the ring, alright? Chris Bay and Matt Hardy were trying to climb the ladder to get the titles, but they both fall down, and then we see Jeff Hardy and Ace Austin fall down on the other side, but onto the ladder that's in the middle of the ring. We fast forward to the system, and they come out cleaning the house using steel chairs on everybody. They hit the double Uranagi to the Hardys through the table on the outside. Fast forward, we see the ABC, they hit the 1-2 sweep to Brian Myers, which is Chris Bay and Art Finesse, followed up by the fold from Ace Austin on top of steel chair. Fast forward, Eddie Edwards hits the Blue Thunder Bomb to Chris Bay. We fast forward to one of the best spots in the match, which was Chris Bay doing a springboarded Art of Finesse to Eddie Edwards off the ladder. That shit was insane, and it was clean as fuck, and the crowd erupted. They're like, yo, they're like, holy fuck. We fast forward, we see Chris Bay, he was this close to bringing down the tag team titles, but we see that the ladder gets knocked down, and then we see Eddie Edwards, he has a hold on Chris Bay, he swings this man to Brian Myers' direction, who's on top of the ladder, and Brian Myers does a WrestleMania 17 spot where he spears the shit out of Chris Bay midair. That shit was tremendous, and the crowd was like, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. Now see, this is the appropriate time to do a holy shit chant, or this is awesome. I'm like, this shit right here is awesome. We fast forward, we see Jeff Hardy, who's trying to slide down the ladder using the chair, but it doesn't work. the chair no-sells Jeff, so he says fuck it, jumps down, does a drop kick to Brian Myers. He then brings up the Jeff Hardy ladder, which is like the biggest ladder. I don't know the exact measurements of how tall the ladder is, but he climbs up the ladder, does a swanton bomb off the ladder to Brian Myers through the table. Brian Myers is done. That's it. It's over for him. See Ace Austin, he's trying to climb up the ladder to take down the titles, and then we see Alicia Edwards get involved, pushes his ass off the ladder into the ropes, and she was looking good tonight. She was looking decent, I ain't gonna lie to you. Alright, but behind her we see Mr. Delete, Delete, Delete. He said it was on site. Turns Alicia around, is a twist of fate onto Alicia Edwards. The crowd popped. The finish of the match was the Hardys hitting a powerbomb to Eddie Edwards outside through the table. Eddie is down, he's done. It's over. The Hardys climb up, they get the titles, and the new TNA Tag Team Champions, the Hardys. And the crowd erupted. The crowd lost their shit. Like, everybody was doing like the Jeff Hardy dance that Jeff does. Like, it was just a feel-good moment. Alright, like I wanted the Hardys to win here, have them have one last run on top before they called it a day. That's what happened. And that's this year's Bound for Glory. So I was 7-3 for my predictions overall. I'll give this show about a 9 out of 10. This was, in my opinion, the best TNA pay-per-view this year and one of the best pay-per-views overall. And I remember seeing this and hearing this on commentary that the Bound for Glory was the highest attended show in the past 11 years for TNA. So if there's any company that can say that they're in a boom period, it's fucking TNA. And that's pretty much all I got to say. So if you watched this year's Bound for Glory, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know what's your favorite moment, your favorite match, all that good stuff. Love it, hate it, comment, subscribe, hell, even share the video. It's all the same to me. I just want to see the engagement and the feedback from you guys. Right? As far as the next video, probably be the Monday Night Raw review, which I don't even know why I do these reviews, because I'm like, it seems like I said this before, TNA gets the most reception. You know what I mean? The show that gets the least amount of viewers gets the most feedback. It doesn't make any fucking sense. But I'll still continue to do it for those that actually care or are interested in my Raw review. So big ups to you guys. And I wish enough for you guys this time. So that said, be safe, be blessed, take care of yourself, trust in God. I'm out of here. Till next time, adios.